Entrepreneurship is a skill. It is not a smartness or dare. If you have the skill, you can have a side income or build a money-making machine for yourself. This course will give you that skill. This course wants to show you a path to start up something safely, patiently, and surely. This course wants to seriously help you go beyond smartness and hobby. Welcome. This is the Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, a complete course compilation, parts 1 through 5. There are 5 parts. First, we'll talk about common noise and fallacies about entrepreneurship. Part 2, the steps for building a business from nothing. Part 3, the 7 heads of a CEO founder. Part 4, power moves for idea generation. Part 5, business is competitive building of beneficial relations. We talk about the relations. There are 5 expected benefits. Expected benefit 1, you will stop thinking and focus. Benefit 2, you will know what investors want to hear. Benefit 3, you will know if an idea has a chance. Benefit 4, you will take risks smartly, but not blindly. Benefit 5, you will have visions of long game and start before others who are equally smart. Welcome, and let's get started. Welcome to the Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, Part 1. We'll talk about 7 major topics. Number 1, the benefit of entrepreneurship learning, even if you do not start up anything. Number 2, what are the risks and why risks are not avoidable? Number 3, we'll talk about some noises about entrepreneurship. Then we discuss fallacies about entrepreneurship. After that, we discuss the need to take risks safely and other important cautions. We'll then discuss why smart people fail and what is the reward for failures. Lastly, if you have too many ideas, then this class is right for you. We'll talk about how to stop thinking and how to truly become an entrepreneur. Good engineers are rare. It would be amazing if they could all build their own business and make their impact. Sadly, this is not the case. Engineering school's curricula teaches no business or business sense. This course teaches engineers to become effective entrepreneurs and understand the logic of business. When engineers only know engineering, their career potentials will be undermined. The course is taught by Dr. Chang Liu, an engineer with a PhD degree in engineering from the California Institute of Technology. The teacher has been a tenured professor, an industry, engineering insider, and startup CEO. He will discuss various aspects of entrepreneurship with a straight clarity. He teaches passionately from direct personal experience and success. The topics cover product making, product marketing, investor relations, and power idea moves veterans use to attract big investment. This book is written holistically. It is made by an engineer to millions of future engineers. Come join us and change your life. With this course, you will become leaders, managers, founders, instead of just engineers in any organization. This class is for you if one of this applies to you. 1. You are an engineer who never worked on product development. 2. You are an engineer who never worked in business department of a company. 3. You are an engineer who never managed a lot of people, for example, 30 on a daily basis. 4. You are an engineer who never started a business. 5. You are an engineer carrying too much pride, ego, stigma, fallacy, and bad information. For example, if you think industry and business is common, then we're talking about you. You are an engineer who never left the comfort zone before. You have always been in schools, academia, or R&D. In a comfort zone, you conform to written rules. In entrepreneurship, you challenge and bend rules. You are an engineer who never sold anything yet. If any of this applies to you, then this class is for you. Here is the outline of this course. In this class, we'll do the following. First, we'll identify the noise and fallacy. The self-awareness of not knowing something is critical. Second, we'll discuss the real process of entrepreneurship for engineers. Then we'll discuss the real work an entrepreneur is expected to do. Next, we'll discuss essentials of how business work for engineers. Lastly, we finish off by discussing power ideas and elements of business plan to increase efficiency of thinking. Even if you don't start a business, this course is still important. It's an important supplement to your formal engineering-centric training. 2 reasons it is important for engineers to be entrepreneurs. First, it is important for engineers to learn business. The best way to learn business is to run one yourself. In fact, it is the only way. Engineering serves to build business, not the other way around. It is unconventional career path versus a career ladder climbing. If you succeed at a startup, you have a first pot of gold to give you freedom, or parachute into a big company that buys you as a manager. It is cool. It is for career, not money. Doing entrepreneurship and startup will not get you rich. You see people getting rich all the time, but do not do this because you want to get rich. Winning will. If you do it for money, or for being a boss, or for getting yourself income, it is like trying to play basketball to make money. This class is the sore missing business class every engineering school should have taught. As an engineering school professor, I'm amazed how little business we teach. Please note this course is only the first pass, meant to motivate you to stop thinking and start building. Many engineers know that entrepreneurship has risks. However, no one has encountered these risks before, only vaguely heard about this. The natural reaction ranges from denial to ignoring. This is very common. Fair warning, here are some of the risks. Your idea never become a product for many reasons. There is simply no demand for your idea. People's reaction is, who cares, even if your solution is to save their lives. You run out of funds before breaking even, or cannot scale, improve, or advertise. Some even get lucky and succeed initially. However, they got stuck with no growth potential. The business is profitable, but no growth, or the business has revenue, but no profit. Second to last risk, you are beaten by competition. The last risk is a compromised life. Because you took the risk without knowing the risk, you are cast out by societies, cast out by workforce. Your resume is forever ruined. This can be very brutal for smart engineers. I have met many such cases. Everyone has great schools. Everyone had great schooling. The only rule in business is to bend rules, but you must first know the rules. You might ask, if there are so much risk, why is it then important to take the risks? Many people take the risk because they don't know or don't believe the preaching from veterans. They underestimate such risks. They overestimate themselves. The natural thinking is, I'm great. Rules don't apply to me. Ironically, people with a lot of money and capital can take less risk. You see, for example, Microsoft buying ChatGPT in 2023 at a later stage of the company's life, when the risks have been scouted out. For people without capital and family owed money, the only way to compensate is to take on risky projects. You see, taking a risk is not taking a chance. You take a chance when the risk is unknown. Capital do not take chance. They only take risks by spending a lot of money. Capital only gambles on informed risks. There's a saying of high risk, high return, but it is only true to a certain extent. Most entrepreneurs must risk on ideas that venture investors and banks will consider too risky. This is how to beat others, but your losing is almost certain. Most engineers can become Elon Musk, but most don't. There's one missing element. Entrepreneurship and business is a fog for great engineers. No one teaches holistically and clearly to engineers. I created this class to empower engineers and coders. You not only can have a great middle-class job, but you could also have your own business. Business is just a way of thinking. Its thinking is not smart, but different. Smart people don't get it. Only experienced people get it. Great engineering schools teach engineering. Great business schools teach business. What happens if engineering schools all teach engineers business? What happens if great engineers all wake up one day and suddenly gain business sense? The answer is easy. There will be a lot more Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs in this world. This course teaches business to engineers. We give engineers a holistic framework for understanding how business world really works. This way you can leverage your skills and become a master of business and money making. As an engineering professor with hands-on experience in startup and industry, I know that engineers can learn business, but business students, unfortunately, cannot learn engineering. Most engineers think the path to success is smart thinking. Therefore, they want to keep thinking smarter until the light bulb lights up. This is wrong. You are already smart enough. Your idea is already good enough. This class will make you rethink about your career plan and become excited about your potential. Without a business sense, engineers will forever be engineers. You'll be an employee to support others' dreams. This class will make engineers become managers, directors, and CEOs, and allow you to spend your life working on your dreams. Thank you. This is for engineers, whether you are still in college or a professor, whether you have never started work or have been at your job being the best employee for 20 years. This is for you. I'm Chang Liu. Right now I'm sitting at my office in Silicon Valley. I've been engineering professor, then started in transition to industry. I've read many books, taught many classes, worked in companies, and built companies. I have invented many things, talked to many investors. I have built new products and sold products. There are many successful entrepreneurs and they have books. Most of them are written by founders from a marketing background. As an engineer, I know uniquely what you don't know and teach specifically about those. I know you don't need more motivations. I have been teaching business to engineers since 2010. I'm here to give engineers complete clarity and confidence, the important caution and advice about wrong turns that you may take. Today, we'll cover 4 important topics. Number 1, essential warnings. Number 2, essentials of business. Number 3, essentials of business starting. Number 4, a jump from a problem solver's mindset to a business mindset. At the end of this section, I will tell you a magic that you can do. If you're here, you're thinking about entrepreneurship. In case I lose your attention, I must first tell you the most important 3 mistakes that causes startup miseries in many people. Here are 3 straight warnings before you take a jump. Number 1, never do entrepreneurship to get rich. Business is a playground with a very high ticket price. Number 2, never do it because you want better work. It takes a lot of money to open an average paying job like the one you're holding. Number 3, never do it to make changes. The world has a lot of surprise in hold for you. Business is a mystery to engineers. It should not be. Business is professional benefit exchange. The benefit the suppliers get is called money. It takes money and practice to build good business, and good business can make good money. In business, there's competition every day and everywhere. Only winners make a lot of money. All modern business is highly capitalized and leveraged. It takes a lot of money to make some money. Starting business is a mystery to engineers. It should not be. Starting business is a special form of business. It also takes practice and money. The practice is often called failures. You must get ready and wait for the right opportunities. A startup founder must not only conceive the idea, but also own it, run it, build the product, sell the product, build the company, grow the company, win, and reduce cost, all at once. Don't build a strange business no one thought of. There are finite business and infinite varieties, just like there are finite animal species and infinite individuals. Many engineers are good with solving problems. This is actually the problem. For idea persons and problem solvers, here are some special notes. To realize an idea, you must go through business. If you build a solution, you must sell that solution. You must sell it hard. And selling is hard. Just because you can save somebody's life does not mean that that person in danger would pay you. Selling a solution is as hard as spotting one or making one. The difference between an idea and money making is like the difference from a fit person to an Olympian champion, product spokesperson. It is that big a difference. Intellectual property is not locked up. It must allow a product to work all the time and no one can copy, even if you show them. Are you ready? Yes, you have been. You have a great mind. You must get a mindset upgrade. How do you upgrade yourself from engineer to CEO? Many engineers are mystified. They want to prepare better, read more books, think more ideas. Actually, none of this helps because you're already smart enough and prepared enough. You're just procrastinating. What all the books miss is the truth. They don't tell you the truth because they don't know who you are and what truth you need. Entrepreneurship is a mystery for a well-trained engineer. Take the Foundation of Entrepreneurship for Engineer challenge. I'll tell you once and for all why it is a mystery. I'll tell you if you are smart enough to work for yourself. I'll tell you how to get ready. Here is the trick. There are so many great engineers, but only one become Elon Musk. What is the secret? No more reading and thinking will help. You need to do a very critical thing now. You must start today with whatever you already have today. Thank you. People ask, are entrepreneurs born or made? This is a sheepish way of asking, am I smart enough? This is a wrong question. Of course you're creative enough. Of course you're smart enough. What makes everyone else different from Elon Musk is not the smart. If super smart people succeed at entrepreneurship, then it is Einstein who should have a company, not Edison. Einstein have a PhD in physics. Edison never went to a single day of schooling. Every person is capable of building a business, but most don't. Why? 1. Human society produced vast comfort zones and school systems. To be an entrepreneur risk taker, you must be willing to break that bond. 2. Every entrepreneur is already made, but you must teach yourself. No one can make you or teach you. Never wait for that. 3. Human success is a relative term. You must beat the second place winner to be called success. Everyone can start a business, just like everyone can walk, ride bicycle, and swim. However, you must teach yourself. All the learning involves quick successions of failures, and that is how you learn. It is okay to fail. You must fail. The failures reconfigures your brain circuits, called a mindset. For entrepreneurship, you must learn in live fire drill. No schools or startup schools can simulate the conditions. As Einstein says, you only learn how to ride a bicycle when it is moving. You're smart enough and your idea is good enough. You just need to trust that and let yourself fall a few times. Everyone is born with instincts of competition and survival. But you must teach yourself through painful experiences. This is why Elon Musk is so rare, even though the IQ is not that different. It is the experience that counts. Read more. In entrepreneurship, smart people and engineers face unique challenges. Why? Engineers are mostly smart, good at school, proud, and hands-on. Isn't it enough to succeed in getting funding? You are kind, hardworking, and love solving problems. Isn't this what startup business is all about? Oh boy. When you touch entrepreneurship, you are in for a surprise of your life. Most engineers do not start because of 3 reasons. First reason, they think about the perfect, unique idea. They think that is a key to success and beat the odds. Secondly, they think business is common and only takes one idea to claim your seat. Third, their pride typically makes them unable to find partners and share ideas. They believe they are masters of logic and knowledge. The reality is that entrepreneurship is a business concept belonging to the business realm. Business realm is where B-grade students and history majors succeed and make a good living. They make the rules. Straight A engineering students have no advantage. As engineer or engineering students, you may be smart and have a lot of knowledge, but you don't have a lot of business weapons. This is a list of things that you don't have. First, you don't have business experience. You have not even sold lemonade on a street corner before. Secondly, you don't have inside marketing information. It is like the Allies going to Normandy without a map. Third reason is this: you don't have capital. Business is an arena of rich people and rich corporations. They also want to make money. Fourth, you don't have company management experience because you need to be a good boss immediately on day 2. Number 5 reason is this: you don't have sales experience and don't know how and where to sell. Selling is harder than making things. Number 6 reason. You don't know how to build a product, although you can make prototypes. Most young engineers never develop product, never sold things, never worked in large groups on large projects, and never build business. Hence, they think everything is easy. Even senior engineers in companies with many years of experience never had management experience and business experience. They know a very narrow perspective of their practice and don't have a big picture. You see, starting business is a unique skill. Just because you work in the business doesn't mean you know. Just because you are smart does not mean you know. There are 3 realities for engineers in business. 1. No one will teach you anything. As an entrepreneur, you are going to learn everything. 2. You will learn everything on the fly. It is like assembling an airplane as it is falling from the sky. It is ultimate challenge to your smart mind. 3. Smart is not guaranteed of any success in business. Business rules are made up by people who are not A-grade students. The rules are intended to make newcomers stumble. Even the best plan still needs to be realized in hustling because changes happen. For entrepreneurship to work, you must upgrade your smart to street smart, also known as entrepreneurship mindset or business sense. Business is not a kind space. It requires engineers to upgrade their skills quickly. There is no advantage for smarts and no advantage for smart engineers. Smart ideas still needs hustling. Business may be everywhere and hence common, but there's nothing low about it. Many people can become great entrepreneurs, but the first obstacle is a wall of noise. Our society has put up the wall of noise. The noise is intentional. It reduces your reasoning capacity. There are a lot of noises and fake information circulating out there. This disables the common sense of starting engineers and paralyzes them from taking action. Here are 7 big noises. 1. Smart technology company can get investment and IPO, achieve glory and money quickly. 2. Technology is powerful, be it AI, ChatGPT, quantum computing. It is tech people's imagination, perpetuated by media. 3. Successful people like Elon Musk and Jobs achieved the status since they are smart. 4. You shall only use your own ideas and try to protect your ideas. It is noble. 5. Once you get a perfect idea, you will get funding and everything will be easy. 6. You can make a problem-solving MVP and start to sell. 7. You can be a Shopify or e-commerce star and get money quickly. Unfortunately, these are all incomplete or completely wrong. Let's review them one by one. Though some tech companies go IPO quickly, it may be only riding on the decades of experience the founders has. Though some companies achieve glory quickly, most cannot even make a solid high-selling product after many years. The second is wrongly emphasizing technology's potential. Technology alone does not sell. The product sells if it can beat the incumbent and shift the supply chain. People only use new technology if it is disruptive and it is stable. Third, people like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs are smart, but that is not why they are successful. They are successful at entrepreneurship since they become business builders very early. If someone tells you to come up with your own ideas and use only your own ideas, that person is not well informed. Many ideas you have are smart ideas. The big ideas are all shared. Whoever can realize them own the idea. Patents and trade secrets are merely speed bumps for competitors. The fact that you can start to get funding with an idea is absurd. People only give you funding if you have proven your ideas work. For that, you need to put in a lot of efforts and money all by yourself. It is called fail forward. The minimum viable product concept is oversold. The suggestion that you can put minimum efforts and start to sell things sounds reasonable until you realize that this approach can never scale. The cost must be realistically included. Lastly, what should I say? The only entity advertising the miracle benefit of Shopify is Shopify itself. It lures many people to set up websites, shops, SEOs, and other components to make money from them. These people will soon find they cannot get steady business at all. It is at best a nice hobby, not business. The sad part is, most people who broadcast the noise fall into two types. Type 1. They're doing this on purpose, so they can sell things to people. Type 2. They don't even know it is fake, and still try to broadcast. These are called media and society. They are the same folks who tell the stories of happily thereafter. They don't care if you fail and lose your shirt by going through to the dead end. By then they will blame you for not reading the fine prints. Please be aware. Besides the 7 noise engineers face, there are 3 major fantasies. Fantasy number 1. I'm smart. I have better ideas. I'll think about the perfect idea and start after I have them. I will protect it because I will need it to get funding. Then I become rich suddenly. Fantasy number 2. Once I have a company, I will have money. I'll pay back the investors and I will try to ask them for very little money. Surely the rich people will be generous enough when I ask for a little and promise so much. Fantasy number 3. Once I have a company, I'll become a boss. There will be many people I can drive to make my ideas a reality. As you see, the fantasy focuses on 3 elements: idea, money, and immediacy. It sounds very reasonable. It sounds logical. That's a problem. These are all wrong. Why? Because these are based on 3 critical assumptions. Assumption number 1. There are people willing to pay for an idea or reward you unusual intellect. Assumption number 2. There are money to be made immediately once you open a business. Assumption number 3. There are good people willing to work for you as soon as you start to show your money around. Many books such as Lean Startups perpetuate such fantasy. It creates a lot of disasters. If something is too good to be true, it is not true. See, the concept of no effort pass from MVP to VC to IPO is just too obvious. It is a trap for you to buy their courses or books. The mistakes are at least 3-folded. 1. Instead of start doing something, it makes people just think and dream forever. 2. Instead of preparing for a big game, it makes engineers focus on gadget and hobby, not real big ideas. 3. Instead of learning the inside of a market, it encourages people to take chances. On surface, there seems to be infinite number of ideas, infinite possibilities of business, infinite number of talents for hire, infinite money supply. However, infinity is not abundance. The path to real success is not unlimited. Simple reality will defeat the fantasy. I can simply give you 4 facts. 1. Everything takes time. Building a product takes time. Qualify a product for sales takes time. Gaining trust takes time. For comparison, the 4 years you spend in college really is a flash. 2. Time has costs. Either your time or time of your hired hands. If your time is free, then the cost is called opportunity cost. When your company is waiting to qualify for sales, you cannot lay off the engineers who build the products. You must keep paying their salary, insurance, bonuses, and government-required pension money. 3. Every idea has competitions. Even small and silly ideas have competitions. You cannot outlaw competitions. Competitions will come, especially if your idea works. People will go great lengths to steal and compete with you. Fourth, money has competition. Everyone competes for end consumers' money. All startups compete for investors' money and attention. You may be smart, but there are many smart people who think just like you. I know that it is really hard to face reality. This is a point many wise veterans stop preaching to convert engineers and professors to businessmen. If they continue to next section, then you are special. I've seen many people quit jobs and then get stuck in a bad company they started. Here's a fair warning. Engineers have several ways to make a living. They can get employed, they can start their own company and business. Moving out of a job to start a company is highly dangerous, no matter how good you are or how good you think you are. There are at least two incentives involving such career moves. First, the kind seeking higher challenges. They get comfortable and bored at later stage of life and wants to try business. Second, the kind seeking greener pasture. They are not happy with current work and wants to make changes. For the second kind, they make three kinds of mistakes. One, they think employees won't get rich. Two, they think entrepreneurs can get rich. Three, they think entrepreneurship is like switching to a better job because you work for yourself. These are all wrong. Most entrepreneurships lose money in early stage and can only make enough to cover their old salary. The reality is that most people get it all wrong. You can get rich on a job and lose a lot of money on your own business. You don't have anyone responsible for you, and you are responsible for everyone. Instead of jumping on a chance without preparation and safety net, engineers should prepare and then take on opportunities with known risk. A premature career move involving entrepreneurship is commendable but very risky. Most people I know who quit their day job and try entrepreneurship eventually end very badly. The classic mistake is this: for only accomplished and inspired engineers. Many people do a good job every day and then quit job without any preparation, putting the rest of their life in financial ruins. Many people fail to prepare for eventual jump and never prepare for dark side of business. Many people wait for a risk-free idea to come along and then jump on naive assumptions. Little did they know how much risk they are taking. These are all wrong, unfortunately, and makes risk taking fatal. What are the correct ways to prepare for a career or career move? First, start entrepreneurship early if possible. Never try to do it in later stage without sales experience. Second, prepare on your job. Never stay in the engineering niche alone. Learn about industry and market and use the information for your potential innovation. Third, learn business including marketing, sales, and financial planning. Most companies and organizations will never involve their engineers for that line of work, however. You must seek it. Most startups take over 10 years to ramp up to normal earning and profit. Never underestimate the time and money, the loss that are involved in early stage. Many engineers heard that the failure rate of startup is very high, but they only know it vaguely. Let's talk about it in detail. Many people, including either students with no employment history or current engineers in companies, do not know what the hidden risks are. Their biggest questions are the following. 1. What are the risks? Why so many companies fail? 2. Why investors would fund something if they know it can fail? 3. Why there must be risks? Can I avoid them if I think better? 4. If there are so many companies' failures, why so many people still try? Here is the answer. Why people fund startups knowing they could fail. Startup failures is not avoidable. Success rate is low, but many would still succeed. It is like trees in a forest. For an individual seed, the chance that it can grow to become a grown tree is low. Many things can happen to it. However, collectively, many trees still grow to become giants. Since trees are everywhere, we do not appreciate the individual struggle and luck associated with each. Since companies are everywhere, we tend to take them for granted and forget about the great odds each must beat in order to stand before us. Individual failures of entrepreneurs is like 2,000 holes on a ship. Each single one can sink the mission. Risks of a boat is only revealed to you when you are on the boat. Unfortunately, you only know a boat is full of holes when it is halfway across the Atlantic. You cannot look up the failure modes even if you look for answers in books and on Google. Unfortunately, no one teaches you. Risks of a certain boat and a certain journey are only known when you are on the boat. Investors know the failures. They know the failure rates. They don't invest in a perfect plan. They only fund teams who have track record of dealing with risks and dealing with changes. Why do investors put money in startups? The answer is this. Investors have to see their money grow. The fund that rich people allocate for startup funding is a small percentage of their total wealth. This is the part they gamble away freely. Maybe it will be lost. Maybe it will win big. To be honest, if it loses, they don't care. It is an unfair game. Rich people have all the money and they bet on a percentage. Entrepreneurs bet their entire life. Investors do not bet on chances. They take risks. They bet big on opportunities, but they don't believe in their chance. Chance is when you think that you can make it. Opportunity is when you know the risks. Good industry and business people never take chances with small bets, but they take opportunities with all they have. Next time you meet an investor, you know this is how they look at you. If the entrepreneur faces such unfair odds, why so many still try? Honestly, many do not know. Luckily, many engineers just think and they never commit. For the few who try, they learn a great deal. For the even fewer who succeed, they propel society forward. And that's typically the part that people remember. Many people ask questions like this. How can I succeed on the get-go? How can I avoid mistakes? How do I know if my idea is good enough? How do I know if any idea is bad? All these questions are sheepish way of asking the same. The question is there a way to succeed without too much work? The answer is no, absolutely not. There are two reasons why I say this. Reason number one, in business, people buy only what you worked on. They only buy from you when they see you have put in enough work. Second, we see fast business, but no business grows fast at the beginning. There are four reasons no one can succeed immediately. Reason number one, business needs customers, and customers only buy when they trust you. The trust building takes time. Second, building any product takes a lot of work. Building a sales network takes a lot of work. Third, It takes time for you to learn about the things you did not even know exist. That is a precise point of doing business. 4. It takes customers to find you, browse, leave, decide to buy, and pay you. It takes a long time. On the other hand, everyone can succeed in building business. It is in our DNA and in our instincts. Don't let schools and formal education make you so rigid and proud. The only two kinds that don't succeed are 1. Those who never start. 2. Those who does not have patience or time. In business, you only make mistakes when you are trying hard enough. The only mistake is to insist on not making it. Never make the mistake of not making mistakes. Making mistakes makes you better than the person who stayed perfect. The person who stayed perfect is not growing and learning. You are. In business, you not only work, but you build a body of work. Entrepreneurship is a long game. Smartness won't work. Ideas won't work. Doing good and providing solutions don't work. It is your idea, and it is all your work. Let me explain in more detail. Smartness won't work. You need to be street smart. Ideas won't work. You need time to realize anyone. Good ideas take extra long. Doing good and providing solutions don't work. Who cares? Finding them takes time. It is your idea, and it is all your work. So start early. Never wait for a perfect time, for you may run out of time. What is the number one stumbling block for smart engineers? It is actually their brain. They keep thinking. People always associate smartness with thinkers. That's why a lot of people do the wrong thing by thinking too much. Most engineers can be entrepreneurs. Most can become Elon Musk. They don't succeed because they never start. They never start because they have too many ideas. They keep on thinking. They keep on making it perfect. This is a problem. Elon Musk is not that different from everyone, but the result is very different. Elon Musk stopped thinking at age 12 in 1973. Most people keep on dreaming about Elon Musk and never start until they are 62. There are 5 critical thoughts why thinking must stop and focusing must start. Number 1. No idea is perfect. Stop searching. You need to have fighting experience for people to invest in you. Number 2. Nothing you think others need can be true without testing. Investors only invest in tested ideas, so start testing. The world needs everything, but the world also needs nothing. Number 3. All good ideas come from mistakes, and mistakes come from bad judgment. This is even true for Thomas Edison. Number 4. There is no such golden book. The only way to succeed is to fail. You must fail and learn. Everyone must fail once. Get past that. Number 5. Life is short. You cannot wait for a perfect plan. There's a very deep dive after you start. Life is a competition of specialization, not generalization. Life is a competition of capitalized scaling. Rest assured you are not missing anything by stopping thinking. Here are 4 thoughts. 1. Nearly all ideas can work. 2. The best ideas will fail. The best idea takes the longest time. Number 3. The good entrepreneurs can execute a bad idea to finish. Get the experience first. Become a good entrepreneur, not a good idea maker. Number 4, the last. All ideas need adjustment after starting. So start. People commonly associate thinking with smartness because many people like to think. They don't know that To realize your dream, you must go through business. But business is not about smartness. Business is about execution and focus. Welcome to Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, a complete course by Chang Liu. Part 2. In Part 1, we talked about 8 topics. These include the benefits of entrepreneurship learning, even if you do not start up anything. Number 2, what are the risks and why risks are not avoidable? We talked about the noises about entrepreneurship and the fallacies about entrepreneurship. It is important to take risks safely. We discussed many other precautions. Why smart people have to fail? What is the reward for that? If you are like me, having too many ideas, then it is very important to stop. Why it is important to stop and how to stop. In Part 2, we talk about 7 topics. Entrepreneurship is a dirty word. It belongs to the business realm. Steps for an engineer to become a founder like Elon Musk. Steps for ideas to become a profitable business. The many steps necessary for a company building. Topic number 5. Every business and company is epic. Why entrepreneurship takes time. Topic number 6. Start first and then pick carefully. Most people pick carefully and never start. Step 7. Compared to school, business runs deep and silent. Here we try to compare school learning and business learning. Are you ready? Let's get started. Most engineers think that entrepreneurship is like a label or a hat you wear, like a position or a title. That is not true. Entrepreneurship is a business concept. It belongs to the business realm. If you want to make any change, you have to do it through business. In a related note, the word innovation is also a business concept. You cannot simply open a company and expect business to flow immediately. You can also not provide a solution without finding the recipient first. If you cannot get funding, it doesn't mean your idea is not good. It means that you are not experienced enough. When you build an MVP and approach a potential buyer, you are a newbie entrepreneur. When people come to your door on their own, begging you with cash, you have a business. Business world is populated with B grade and C grade students. To succeed at entrepreneurship, you must purposefully enter the business world. You may not like the self-aggrandizing of former President Trump or the greediness of capitalists or anything you are led to believe, but you cannot be a purebred idea maker, clean as a whistle. The fact is, no one cares. You must join the uncomfortable world of business and abide by the behavior codes. No one cares about your efforts. Trust me, the world can always get by without paying you for your idea. If your idea saves lives, no one cares. If your idea saves somebody money, no one cares. The schools you went to never teach such code, such details with granularity. Business is to maximize the offer and value and drop the price, and then exploit your workers and kill your competition in order to keep that position. That is real business and real entrepreneurship. If you have moral issues against that, don't become an entrepreneur. The business world includes its own money investors will chew out any dreamer. It is a world where B grade and C grade students make a living and survive. They make the rules. A grade students are only meant to be the employees built by B students. nothing more. Why are founders and smart startups fail? Because the rules are meant to make you fail and challenge you to fail. Business is 6 things in one. It is a taller order than a dream. It is a relation building. It is a cutthroat game. Business is an experiment. You never know you're right when you start. Business is survival. Business is not to get yourself rich. It is finding ways to help other people get rich. Business is ultimate professional specialization and leading others. If you want to change the world, this is the only path. Get dirty and hustle. When you have a profitable big company, you can talk about changing the world. Remember, talk is cheap. Thinking is cheap. Entrepreneurship is grounding dreams to reality and realize dreams. There are 2 facts when you realize entrepreneurship is business. 1, the only way to measure success is if people pay you. That's the benefit that you get. 2, inventions can be one-time effort, but entrepreneurship as business can never end. Business can never end. If it ends, it fails. Engineers are not supposed to become entrepreneurs automatically, just like students are not supposed to become basketball stars. Let's talk about how you can prepare yourself in this part. Most entrepreneurs envy Elon Musk and Steve Jobs. They think they get there by doing 3 things. 1, they want to do good and have good idea. 2, they're smart. They deserve to create the future. 3, their success is somehow because they picked the title or pronoun. They picked to be entrepreneur. Hence, they become good. Most people do not know the immense struggle people like Musk and Jobs have to go through, their first failures and why they got there. To be like them, you must come across 4 basic barriers. Barrier number 1, you have to become business-minded. Elon Musk and Steve Jobs are businessmen. They are not engineers. 2, you have to know the industry inside. 3, you have to generate good ideas after you are inside. Number 4, you have to be great at execution. You must start and fail repeatedly until you get the 4 weapons. Then you can make the official start. The spark plug is to make and start. You will most likely fail. It is like playing a first-person shooting game first time. You cannot entirely able to make it through to the end, to the big boss. You must fight. You must first start, and you must fight, and you must fail. It is inevitable. It is necessary. You cannot avoid it. Most engineers' ideal process of turning into an entrepreneurship is this. They want to think harder. They want to have a perfect idea, a great one. Entrepreneurship is not a job. It is to create jobs. Entrepreneurship is not a good idea, but successfully sustaining a company to produce and sell the product based on the initial vague thought. There is no autopilot success. There is only hustle by you. First, you have to have a good idea. It doesn't mean that you will be successful. Second, having an investor does not mean success. Third, having a company does not mean success. Fourth, even having a publicly traded company does not mean success. Entrepreneurship is not a warm and fuzzy process of making dream come true or inventing the future. It is business. It is a game, and it is war and picking a fight. It is competition every day. Entrepreneurship is also deep learning about things that are deep. Entrepreneurship is not a dream that spontaneously and magically happens to someone. It is a destiny you must pay to reach. Entrepreneurship is four things, just not ideas. One, it is a game. Two, it is business and building business. Three, it is a war. Four, it is deep learning. So to be Elon Musk and to be like Steve Jobs, you have to master all these skills and you have to go through all these hurdles. What we see in them is someone who have gone through everything and can still be there. Most people don't know how to start and never start. They make the following mistakes. Most people wait for the perfect idea to start. Most people fail because they don't prepare. Most people start too late then because they have been thinking all this time. They only turn on the switch when they reach the end of their job, career. And the fourth mistake is they never try to start easy business. So people don't start, and when they start, they pick something that is out of their league. Entrepreneurship transcends jobs. Entrepreneurship is not a job. Your job is to create steady jobs. Entrepreneurship is business, and business is not casual. Most people are meant to be job holders, salary makers, or wage earners. Most are not meant to be business builders and business owners. Here are four important cautions about job and making money on your own. Number one, do not give up your job. Try to learn from apprenticeship. Number two, do not use the excuse of bad boss as reason to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is not a replacement for your job or for your bad boss. In your job, you get paid not much, but regularly. In entrepreneurship, you give money to other people regularly, but you do not get paid regularly. Most people never quit their job and never prepare. Professional entrepreneurs prepare and then quit their job to start. Entrepreneurship is one of the deepest learning that anyone can do. It takes a lot. It's not easy. Think of entrepreneurship as building a sandcastle. The so-called my idea is a design. You can build one anywhere, but you must do it yourself. Think of entrepreneurship as playing a new computer game you just bought. Why people who play it for the first time fail? Because it is designed for you to fail. You don't know. You are not familiar with it. Entrepreneurship is to transcend yourself. So the only way to start is to start. You have to start to make mistakes and start to learn. To become a Musk or Jobs or Gates, you have to do this many, many times. What is amazing about those people is that they started the failure, the cycle, at a very young age. Ideas never become profit instantly or magically, even the best ideas. There are 7 steps to turn an idea to a profit. Here they are. Many people treat ideas like a holy object. They want to keep secret by never telling. They form an echo chamber in their head. They think patents can protect them perfectly. They naturally think that the more ideas you get, the richer you become. But all this is wrong. The journey from idea to profit is long and treacherous. It is so because of 2 reasons. Number 1, the world has already got everything. The world is truly saturated with ideas, especially businesses. If you are great, many people in many generations before you had done what you are planning to do. 2, no one teaches you about the treacherous journey because there's no reward in telling the truth. And not many people have gone through this anyways. There are at least 7 steps before any ideas can become profit. Step number 1, you must focus on only one idea and let go of all else. This is the most difficult step. Focus on one, rejecting everything else. Number 2, you must build a product embodying that idea. If you don't have a product, you have nothing that other people can look at your ideas with. Number 3, you must try to sell if there are buyers and of that product. If you don't try to see if there are buyers and just assume there are buyers, then that will be wrong. Many ideas, many products have buyers, but you have to find them. Number 4, if there is buyer, you now need to make a business out of it. You have to get profit. You have to control the cost. You must hire people. You must build a company. Everything associated with a recursive realization of the idea is the business. Break even is very difficult. If you reach a break-even point, that means your business has enough revenue to support the cost. That is very difficult. Number 5, if you succeed at making break-even, then you must protect that from copycats. You must not allow copycats to challenge you. You don't do this simply by flashing a paper of patents or hire a team of lawyers. Those are not enough. Number 6, for some business, break-even is the best way they can reach. They can never grow. They can never have profit. That will be very bad because only the biggest companies, only the biggest ones in any niche have profit, and only the growing ones can survive. The rest becomes price takers and they can control their cost and they gradually decline. This is where it becomes hard. Number 7, you must keep growing your business from that point on and remain a leader because new competitors will emerge every day. Now you are in the growth and survival mode. Your party can end that way, can end any day. You must be a leader. Each level is very hard to reach. Once you reach level number 7, it is really sweet. You have a money tree, a money-making machine that makes you money when you sleep. However, to reach that level is very difficult. Most people do not go past level 1. Then they discover that they don't have money to go to number 2. They call that a failure. Every level might be the terminal level of your entrepreneurial effort. If you are rich, you should start again, or you can use money. But most people do not have that luxury. To make money, just build a relation. Money will always pass through you when you have a relation. To make profit, you need to bend backward to provide extra benefit for free. This part is called value. No one buys something at your cost. People always buy it at a price below your cost. For that reason, profit is hard. You only have profit when you have scale. Every company on earth carry a business, even a local restaurant and the city government. Everyone started before you were born. You must not ignore them or treat them as a safe fixture or common. Just because they are mature doesn't mean they are common. Most intellectuals think business as common. Why? Perhaps because business is everywhere. Restaurants, post office, accountants, etc. It is easy to assume that common things are common. But there is a story behind every business. Every business has a story. Every business is epic. They were built by an entrepreneur just like you, perhaps generations ago. Every business has at least 4 stages of development. Stage 1. Some gutsy entrepreneur succeeded in finding a business and building a shop or a company. They break even and stayed on, but many failed. Their stories were never told. 2. They find paths to continue to grow through fighting and merging. Number 3. They figured out how to deal with people leaving and going and maintain the core business. Number 4. Eventually, they lasted so long, their legitimacy is never doubted. And they are the only one that does this. And they become a brand. Everyone knows them. The development of any business has roughly 4 elements. Number 1, the founder's development. Number 2, human resource development. Number 3, capital resource development. Number 4, assets or product making. When you are in entrepreneurship or business, you are responsible for those 4. No one will help you because they recognize you as a great idea. No one will just sign up to be hired as your co-founder. No one helps. Life is not fair if you are a founder. 1. Founders do not make money, they invest money. 2. Founders do not have work-life balance. Their work is their life. 3. Much of the risks and barriers are man-made to stump you. 4. Founders do not get paid until everyone gets paid. This includes employees, landlords, suppliers, janitors, lawyers, accountants, and government. There are roughly 3 stages for a founder's development. Stage 1, becoming a great student or engineer. Stage 2, learn business mindset through practice and failure. Stage 3, start to develop a business. We discuss the risks of founding a business. You must cross at least 6 checkpoints. Cross 6 barriers. 1. You must have products. 2. You must become break-even. 3. You must try to become profitable. 4. You must protect your turf and grow. 5. You are then qualified to be considered by investors. 6. You are on your way of learning and brand building. You must build a great company with great managers and employees. A business is completely developed only when all these elements are prepared and all stages are complete. You can never call a half-finished company a company. You must finish what you start, or it does not matter. Every business takes at least 10 years to build. The difference between a business to a hobby or interest is that business is responsible. To be responsible, a business must last. A business that does not last is not a business. Every company does this. There are many failure stories never told. Every entrepreneur have tried many times before. What you know about their idea is rarely their first choice. Never their first rodeo. To make the point more clearly, I have some examples. Please refer to the resource page to see links. Thank you. For startups, it is hard to start and harder to finish. It is almost impossible to last. But unless you start, you will never get to experience it. Many people think forever for an instant start. They cannot find an instant start idea, and it doesn't exist. Why does everyone believe in it? Because of fake news about them is everywhere. To officially have a startup, you have to find 3 things. 1. A product you can make or carry. 2. The target who demand your product. 3. The mechanism to produce a profit. These 3 are unrelated. If you want to make a startup, you have to find those 3 things. You cannot dream about them. No one will help you or show you the way. Every start takes many tries. The trials and failures are critically important, but they are never told. Start today on the idea you have today. Initially, you don't know who and what to sell them. After you start, you will find demand and you will invent on target. A business opportunity is everywhere, but everyone is buried very deep. There are 4 steps anyone can start. Number 1, thinking. And you have to stop thinking. 2, making and doing. 3, restart now that you are inside. Number 4, making a hit and break even. To realize a dream, you must stop dreaming immediately. There are 3 reasons everything takes time. Number 1, it takes time to make and research a formal product. If it does not take time, no one will buy it. It will likely be too crude. 2, it takes time for your customers to convince themselves they should buy one. Number 3, it takes time for you to stay long enough to be legitimate. After that, it snowballs. But before the snowball, it is meager and hard. The iconic light bulb analogy is very wrong. It implies something happens instantly when you are bright. Unfortunately, the media people who perpetuate this lie does not know. Success is not a switch to turn on the biggest light bulb no one knows. Success sometimes is silent. The only business success is a lasting business and lasting company. Typically, it's very silent. It is called a brand. You are an icon. Every business, big or small, is an icon. An icon has won many times. An icon has been there for a long time. Entrepreneurship is not something new. It is something that can stand the test of time and become old. Not all business can grow big, and not all business can have profit, no matter how hard you try. You need to give yourself the best chance. Smarts are important, but experience trumps smarts. Experience matters, but choice trumps experience. Choice comes from experience. There are many choices that one has to make. Most people know only one choice to start. This one involves the following logic. 1. I read a lot of good books and went to good schools. I must be special. I'll think of a thing to start. 2. I will come up with a great idea, a perfect idea no one has ever thought of, and convince investors and customers. Then I become rich, successful, and free. Number 4, my company will go IPO and I hold my shares. If that does not happen, I'm still rich since investors give me money already. Well, this choice has many flaws, if this is the only choice that you make. Most people want to invent and then find buyer. There are many ways to start business. Inventing a useful thing is only one way. 1, you can start a market and charge commission. 2, you can become a middleman and charge commission. You can just buy and sell. 3, you can become a factory and let others sell your product. 4, you can own and lease properties such as land. Let me give you some examples. Amazon is not a store, it's a market. Amazon is very successful. The Wall Street is a middleman. It helps people buy and sell shares in companies. Wall Street market makers have a great strategy. Wall Street makes money even if the market goes down. China is a factory. Look how rich it becomes. China picks smartly. TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Microelectronics Company, is a factory. McDonald's company, the restaurant company, actually owns a lot of land. It leases land to franchisees. It makes money even when restaurant owners do not make money. When John D. Rockefeller was starting his business, he caught the boom of natural gas. Natural gas for lighting. Instead of becoming a driller and prospector, he focused on processing raw materials into refined products. He becomes a middleman refiner instead of a prospector. This may require more capital, but the risk is significantly lower. His business has scale and is not subject to random luck. However, never wait and think about the perfect choice. Don't pick and start. Start and then pick. There are many kinds of companies and businesses you can start besides high-tech companies. The vast majority of the world is filled with mature tech companies. Business is nothing but buy and sell. Buy and sell. Make and sell. This is the art of start. Don't expect to find something no one has ever thought before. Don't expect a perfect big idea to start. It does not matter. You never really start a business. You only start to try and start to learn. There's no new business. There's only old business done the new way. In this sense, product and technology can change, but business never change. However, your first choice is likely to be wrong. Even knowing that, you must choose first. Choose what you can today and start. Start safe. Don't guess. Don't second guess. Don't take chance and don't expect to be lucky with a one-time effort. Select carefully, pick one, and stick with it. Your first choice is likely to be bad, but at least you have started. Your brain circuit is now rewired. You have grown the entrepreneur's mindset. Entrepreneurship is not an event, it is a life. It is life altering, whether you like it or not. Business is everywhere, but every business has competition. The winners will take all, and therefore the profit. Everyone else just make a living. Entrepreneurship takes a whole life, especially if you succeed. Any business you build is a lifelong engagement. It will never be on autopilot. Let's say you invented the windshield wiper to help prevent automotive accidents. After you invent the windshield wiper, your natural instinct is, I thought about it. Then you try to ask Ford to pay you. This is when you have learned that Ford has made it before. They just are not satisfied. Ford never published papers on this and never even filed a patent. Filing a patent would alert the competition. Then Ford buys your patent, but just to prevent you from selling to another car maker. Your patent may become a weapon, and they can use it to fight against GM, who also have invented the windshield wiper. They never put it on cars because the manager thinks the extra items would hurt the bottom line. The manager does not want to lose his job by proposing something outrageously new. He is trying to stay safe on his job. Suppose you're lucky, you get to work for Ford. Then you realize squeegee requires a special material that stands harsh winter, and the best material has been patented in Japan and bought by Toyota. Then you must invent your own. This is when you go from mechanical engineer to material engineer, and you need to learn everything overnight on the fly. One day you are made manager, and that's when you must learn about management, especially handling the egos of other smart people or dumb people. Before long, this little idea quickly becomes a monster that dominates your entire rest of your life. That's the power and curse of entrepreneurship. This is a hypothetical play. In reality, the inventor of windshield wiper, Mary Anderson, never made a penny from her invention. You may successfully start something unsuccessful at the very end. Schools are rare and companies are everywhere. However, this does not make industry people common and professors special. At schools, you learn the broad knowledge and theory. In business, you practice super special down the rabbit hole called market sector. As long as you win in there, there's ultimate, unlimited money to be made. Entrepreneurship is easy. It only takes a whole lifetime. It only takes tremendous practice for about 10 years when nothing works. Welcome to the Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, a complete course by Chang Liu, Part 3. In Part 1, we talked about debunking the noise and fallacies. In Part 2, we talked about steps to success. In Part 3, we're going to talk about the hats that a founder or a CEO has to wear. If you are a smart person, now you got the best job in the world. You have to wear 7 hats. Each hat represents a job function that you actually carry. You are not only the founder, but you are the chief of product research, chief of fundraising, chief of marketing, chief of supply chain, chief of sales, chief of intellectual property, and chief of human resource. Each one of this you have to do well with only on-the-job training. If you don't, then the company would collapse. Let's go talk about each of the functions. And a bonus point, talking about the failures if you do not wear any of this hat right. Let's go. Most people think a founder is a CEO. That is wrong. You are everything. Common misconceptions about entrepreneurship is threefold. 1. You're a boss. 2. You're free. 3. You're rich. These are all wrong. As starting entrepreneurs, you get a chance to learn everything on your own. You're a student in chief. Here's how. Number 1, you're not boss. You must work hard to pay your employees. 2, you're not free. You work 365, 7, and 24. 3, you're not rich. Your meager revenue first must pay for suppliers, office rent, advertisers, and salary. It will be years before you get paid 1/10 of your former salary at a job. You're investor number 1, and the money you pay can be considered tuition. But the learning and sense of control is fantastic. You wear 7 hats because you don't have money to pay for professionals yet, and you must manage your own business that you just started. The 7 hats are CTO, Chief Technology Officer, for making a product. The MVP or minimum viable product you got is not enough. 2. CEO, which is Chief Fundraiser. You must raise money because organic growth and slow churn will not work. 3. CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. You need to find what customers like and demand to pay for. You must prove that customers do come and like your price. 4. COO, Chief Operating Officer. You must reduce the cost you pay your suppliers, or you work for your suppliers. 5. CSO, Chief Sales Officer. You must build a store and run them. No one will help you or rent your space. 6. Chief Engineer. You are to make it impossible for competitors to copy you, even if you can buy and open your product easily. 7. Human Resource Manager. You must hire and retain talents. It does not mean you qualify magically. You are going to do on-the-job training. You must manage the company you build. You must sell the product you build, and you must hire the people correctly. Funny you thought beforehand that your idea is so good it is guaranteed success and everyone will help you. Not a chance. Typically, when you start to sell your product, it is the first time you learn they already exist. Even Google search engine does not tell you that. How on earth can smart startup founders with great ideas fail? Since our airwaves and internet is filled with news of great successful entrepreneurs, most stories of failed startups are never told. How can a founder fail? In a nutshell, it is not so hard to create a small business. But if you don't make it big, you failed. Business must be big. Let's list 5 big reasons. The fact idea is not good enough is never one of the reasons. First, you fail to take off. Even smart people can fail to take off. You cannot reach break-even stage in short amount of time and limited capital. You'll run out of money. Within the time frame, you fail to find partners or edge. You must abort. Number 2, failure to scale. If you fail to grow to break-even or profitable stage, you do not have a prayer. You must abort. For example, you may fail to get investment because your concept is not trendy or big enough. 3, you cannot compete. You simply cannot put together a product or selling system. 4, you get beat by competitors or sabotaged. Competitors come in different colors and sizes, some big and well capitalized, some small and dirty, many bigger than you and dirty. 5, you're just a bit too late or just a bit too early. You find out later that the idea has been done before. The information about your competition cannot be Googled. Google does not know that. If it knows, it does not tell you or warn you. You must find it out yourself. Every entrepreneur must fail once. Most are just good at hiding that failures and never tell. Why so many founders fail? Because they never start. Why first-time founders must fail? There are 4 philosophical reasons that somebody must fail and why failure is good. Number 1, they have no track record of failure, hence no one will trust them. 2, they cannot take off with short amount of time and learn on the fly. They might be a good student, but this is extreme test. 3, they run out of money. 4, the timing is wrong, too late or too early. In startup, money and timing are critical. Money can solve every failure, and timing is more important than idea. Money paid for failure is real tuition or startup school. That's why investors fund people who have failed before. A product is a center of business. Without a product, an idea is a dream. When your customer can hold the product in their hands, it becomes a proposal to purchase. If business is a sentence, then the product is the central character. It takes a lot to elevate a prototype to a product. However, it is a transition from hobby to beginning of business. The center concept of business is a product. Business is buying, selling, and building products. Without a product, it is like a sentence without a pronoun, or a statement without a subject. A product is different from a prototype or a minimum viable product, MVP. There's nothing minimum about a product, even if it looks simplistic. In fact, if you did not spend a lot of work on a product, it is not likely going to fetch any high price. Why? Because it would be common. Common things have no price-setting power. A product has 5 things that MVP does not have. 1, it has a specification list. A product is a promise. It comes with legally binding quality control certification and test results. It is certified to be safe. You must pay for producing the product certification, and it is not cheap. Sometimes, each country of sale have its own certification system. A product is standardized and produced in factories. Even when you use free service like Gmail or Facebook, there are agreements you must sign. Don't underestimate the spec sheet. It is a promise guaranteed by loyalty language, and it defines a right to the buyers to sue you or to seek damage. Without this protection, no one will buy from you. Your startup may be able to afford an engineer, however, affording a lawyer is a different matter. Number 2, it has quality assurance, or you will be sued. It is repeatable. Every product must be the same, exactly the same. It is performance. that has to be reliable. For example, a product would have expiration temperature and temperature range of storage. This has been tested in laboratories. Number 3, it can be returned anytime, even after 20 years. 4, a product is a fixture in a supply chain. Others depend on your product to make a living. Others have to sell your product to make a living. So your product has to be there. Number 5, a product is a system, not a standalone object. It must have a sense of quality. Product making takes time and money. I share some experience of product making in the extended documentary section. A product is not a prototype. Let me repeat. A prototype is not a product. A product is much refined. There are 3 major differences. A product has appearance, color, materials, and look. A product is made in a factory with quality control staff. A product must be complete and must be operable without your handling. A fancy toy prototype rocket is already pretty impressive, but a product is made with money. For example, a product rocket would list many specifications. Hypothetically, this could include the rocket can return vertically 90 to 95% of time, can land in this and that weather conditions, can land in different places on Earth, including cold places, can tolerate space radiation and temperature swing. A cost of product development include the following. 1. Research and development engineers. 2. Tooling for manufacturing and testing. 3. Tooling for reliability testing. 4. Cost to produce certification. 5. Patents and other documentations. After this, we can start to talk about cost of marketing, sales, and mass production. The sales and marketing cost is a lot more than the research or the making of the product, by the way. To make a product, it takes a lot of development and refinement. A product typically costs $1 million to refine. To ask people if they want to buy or not, you must present them with a product unit. The product is a token of your offering. Look for other case studies of product making in the appendix, please. If you are a startup CEO, more than half of your work is to get funding. If you are not getting that, then you're not doing your job. Entrepreneurs and investors have a love-hate relation. If an entrepreneur is a new car, the investor is a gas station. If the entrepreneur is a new car, the investor is a highway. No entrepreneurs can get anywhere without investor. The investors know that, and they are not your friend. First-time entrepreneurs don't know that. They make 3 classic mistakes about investor relations. 1, they think investment is minimal and unnecessary. They want to succeed on their own, solo. 2, they think they can easily meet angels or VC comrades if they have to, since they own good ideas. 3, they want to wait for investors to infuse money before they can build products. They don't want to use their own money. Those are all wrong. It turns out that there are some facts for founders or startup CEOs. Number 1, investment and financials infusion is full-time work. You can never stop. 2, the best time to get investment is when you don't need the money. The investors can sense you're desperate, and they will squeeze you to get more shares. Number 3, once you get investment, you become hooked on investors and virtually work for them. They become your true shareholders and boss. Number 4, investors are not fellow chance takers like you. They want to spend big money on big, sure opportunities. 5, they are not some kind of smart people, but they have been through a few rodeos before. They have seen too many smart people failing. They know the rest of the script, but you don't, and they won't tell you. You should know that an entrepreneur is never free. You must beg for capital, even if you don't like it. Investors is like the only thing that you beg. The second person you need to beg is the bank, the landlord, and the customer. Most entrepreneurs make the following mistakes. 1. They think they don't need to give up shares and don't want to grow. They just want to cultivate a hobby business and generate lifestyle side income. This rarely works in modern society. 2. They have casual contact with investors too early when they are not trend ready. They want to play the friends cards. Hence, they ruin their reputation unknowingly. Investors are friendly until they ghost you. 3. When they approach investors, they keep on talking about academics, pedigrees, their ideas, doing good for the world, and so on and so forth. Those are not what the investors care about. The investors only want to make money from dealing with you and your co-founder. Number 4, they mistaken the investor as a co-founder, advisor, or comrade. The investors are not. Here are some reasons why not having investment is not an option. Number 1, your revenue and profit can never be fast enough to supply your growth. If they do, then you're not starting the right business. You're starting a hobby. You're trying to make money. 2, you and your team is a 1. The investors are the zeros behind the 1. If you don't have zeros, the 1 doesn't matter. Number 3, investment money is an escalator that transport your employees to the stock market and get rich. If you don't have investment, you will only have second-rate people working for you. Here are some rules to know why you are not ready for investors. Number 1, if you don't have a product yet, don't approach the investor. Investors have money, but they are not your alternative piggy bank. They are not the operational money provider. Number 2, if you don't have a co-founder, don't approach an investor. Investors expect to see a team, not an idea and its brilliant maker. Number 3, if you don't have a clear idea, don't chat with an investor. It is not their job to teach you or make it clear to you. Number 4, don't ask the investors to keep a secret for you. They will call everyone they know to verify your claims. They will call your competitions to verify. All investors communicate and know each other. It is their profession. If you have to keep the idea secret, that means you have not done anything on that idea yet. If your entrepreneurship is a journey, the investor does not give you a car. They're just a hitchhiker. They're just a rich hitchhiker. If you are a rocket ship, the investors are the booster rockets. They take you to a new orbit that you cannot reach otherwise. They expect you to prepare the rest, but their fuel will take you to the higher orbit faster. They are the leverage. In this analogy of hitchhiker, the investors will be picky about the ride. They have many other people willing to provide the ride to them. If necessary, they will demand the steering wheel and drive the car to where they want to go, not you. Investor is a strange partner in the journey of startup for you. They are not nice, but they are necessary. Most first-time entrepreneurs would take their product and seek out random people on the street to buy. They would approach the customer. This is wrong. I'll first tell you what is the right way. I'll then discuss why there must be uncertainties in whether people will buy. I'll then discuss how to find the fit. First, let's discuss the right way to find a buyer. The right way is to arrange for the buyers to find you. Where the buyers search and make decisions is called a market. Everything has a buyer, but the buyer and product must meet in the market, or sales won't happen. Some people ask, can I have a sure entrepreneurial business? The answer is no. The reason is very logical. Here, the customer buying is the biggest dilemma of any entrepreneur. If you are sure something will be bought, then it is not your business. Other people would have done it. If you know something will be bought and where, there's no risk. But it also means you will not get the turn, since someone with more money will get this. You're not even the one with the most information. For example, someone who is already in the supply chain, grapevine, already knows this. They have the same information you have. They may not be as good students as you were in school, but they know more than you. Second, the only business opportunity for someone without capital is to take the risk. Hopefully a calculated risk with good insider information. This is why customer buying always is unknown when you start. You must test and prove it. This is why entrepreneurship is more like science, not engineering. It is like a marriage proposal, hence it is called a value proposition. You must be humble enough to treat your gut instinct as only a hypothesis. Now let's talk about how to find the fit. The general rule is to let the product and the intended customer to meet face to face. An intended customer may convert to a buyer or not. However, it is important to know that not all intended buyers will buy. Why should intended customers pay for your product? They are not paying for it, they are keeping it. There are several prerequisites for people to keep your product. 1. The customer believes it is safe to own it. 2. The customer senses discount or value. The price is worse. 3. The customer finds utility by owning the product. 4. The customer finds benefits by owning the product. The customers take time to decide and buy. In reality, they decide to pay the price to keep your product. It is a magic or so-called value proposition. For example, when a customer buys a car, they must know it is safe. Most people don't pay full price. They wait for discount time. The utility they find is ability to move themselves conveniently. The benefit is that the purchase of a car would increase their earning power and make their life richer. The concept is often talked about. What is product customer market fit? It means two things. 1. When you put your product in the right market where intended people go. When the product is on the shelf in that market, it is said you have penetrated the market. 2. When your product is competitive and unique in some way. If the wrong audience seeks your product, they won't buy. If the customer buys your competitor's product, it is not a good fit. You need to compete harder. The only way to test the fit is to test. Try some combinations until you find the fit. It costs money and time to try. No matter how good or famous you are, you still need to do this exercise. Like they say, customer is king. Only they have the massive purchasing power. There are many products and there are many customers. You must find the right fit. Not everyone will buy the same thing. To get profit from business is very hard. There are only two ways to go. 1. You are the price setter and not price taker or follower. You have controlled cost, mostly through volume order advantage. If you have no real competition in the category, you can name your price. For example, a price that actually covers your cost. If you cannot do that, then you sell at below your per item cost. If you are a price setter, you are either in a small niche or are really, really good, like Apple. If you cannot control price, you must control cost by ordering a lot from your suppliers to encourage them. You need to feed them orders that are steady. Essentially, you pay wholesale price for your parts, not retail price. What are the major costs of business? Let's name 5. Number 1, facility rent and landlord. A business typically have to sign multi-years lease on properties instead of year by year. 2. Workers, their benefits, bonuses, and several packages if they are fired. When you fire your bad employees, you have to pay them on their way out. If you think only CEOs have golden parachute, think again. If you think being boss is about having workers, then you don't know the workers are actually hard to fire. Number 3, Parts and supply cost to build up inventory. If you don't have inventory, your sales will be halted once the inventory is down to zero, and customers will complain. Inventory keeping is real dollars. No serious suppliers will drop ship for you. It's drops in the bucket for them. Number 4, marketing and advertising. Ever heard of Google, Facebook, or TV channels? They are all fat and rich from advertising that business pay for. Advertising is necessary, even if your product is good. The best product pay top dollars for advertising. Why? It's worth it. Number 5, shipping costs. Shipping is seriously costly. This is why companies like Amazon build their own fleet. Even if you have the product and have customers' blessing, no one will make you win. We all depend on each other. You must pay suppliers. If you do not control the cost, the suppliers will charge you just enough so that you don't make money. Here are 3 dynamic challenges for you, the founder, to deal with. Number 1, your suppliers likely will also supply your competitors. For them, it is open bidding war. If your suppliers have no other customer, then it is likely you are making a gadget, not products. 2, the supplier price is variable. The more orders you give them, the cheaper they charge you per unit. Only the downstream buyers with more stable business and more orders will get preferential treatment from the supplier because you are their business. Number 3, to get on-time delivery of high-quality parts, you must be Tier 1 preferred customer. Most business operates at a price below their cost. For most business, profit only kicks in at a certain volume of sales. All big companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, and Nike are masters of cost control. It is not about doing the best for your customer. It is about controlling the cost. This is the reason why Apple makes computer chips themselves, build their own stores, iStore, and even make their own entertainment videos. Controlling the source allows you to control the cost. This is also the reason why Amazon built their own fleet of trucks and planes to handle shipping. For this, they charge the customer $100 a year for unlimited shipping. This illustrates the ruthlessness of the game. Cost control is not optional or elective. It is a competition. You see, you're not the only entrepreneur out there trying to get rich. There are many other unannounced players in your field. The suppliers, fellow competitors, the entrenched players who don't want to lose their market share, and people who already are rich. Maybe their grandparents were entrepreneurs. Often you even have players who intentionally lose money to grab business and market share because they want to and they can. This is just to bleed you out by having a price war. Controlling cost whenever you can is absolutely important. Finishing a product is just the first step. Actually, it's not even the first step. You must sell what you build. You must sell what you build in the store you build. You must sell what you build in the store you build in a market that you penetrated. After you have beaten incredible odds and have the product, the sales lead, and supplier, you must sell like crazy. Nothing moves on their own, even if it saves lives. Ideally, you want to sell in your own stores and own your website. But these are 2 facts. Number 1, the store and traffic is not cheap. Number 2, the store building is entirely your duty. No one will help you. No one will let you piggyback on their sales system because it will take their customers' focus away. No magic such as Shopify, Amazon, FBA, Etsy will help you sell. They just make it easy to have a digital storefront. They just make it easy for you to think and set up. Sometimes not even that, but you still have to sell. A storefront with no traffic is worth nothing. The key is to get people inside and do your magic. Good traffic takes years to build. or money. Hopefully, by now, you're already familiar with this assessment. When you don't give away shares, you must do all the work, or the operations will wither away or no one would remember. And the next customer will tread over where you were and say, "Hey, I got an idea." There's cost to selling. They may include the following: 1. Cost of renting storefronts. 2. Cost of search engine and traffic incrementals. Without advertising, the pure organic sales may never catch up. 3. Cost of paying for sales manager and salespeople. Good ones are expensive and they want rewards. 4. Bonuses and other promises. So they work hard. Just salary is never enough. The cost of selling can easily be 90% of your sales. In this case, you are not making money, you are just passing money. The world is a buyer's market. There's oversupplying of everything. When you start a business, never start an easy business. Let me tell you why at the end. Since your business must be conducted in open, everyone at this point of your success already knows they will want to displace you and take the customers and business away. To prevent others from doing that, it is not enough to use loyalty or treat of potential litigation. You must make your business uncopyable. This is uncopyable in plain sight, not in hiding. You must erect barriers or build moats. It is often called barriers of entry or trade secret. By the way, this is secret that you do not patent. You see, patents to a tech company is just like chainmail armor worn by middle-aged knights. It's really not enough. Barriers is not just patents. Legal protections only go so far. There are other forms of barriers of entry. For example, number 1, scale. Number 2, capital and war chest. Number 3, unique relations you have with customers. Number 4, location, name, and culture. Number 5, certain legal and regulatory processes can be barriers, such as FDA approval. When you discuss the term unfair advantage with investors, it typically means a special barrier that you can cross only. Let's see what some companies have prevented others. Whether they will be forever successful remains to be seen. Amazon has the early starter advantage. Time was on their side. However, Amazon has used its scale as an advantage that few can beat even if they try. 2. Google in advertising placement business. It has a tremendous funnel with free search. Google has permeated into many things, making them hard to replace. It remains to be seen what ChatGPT can do. TSMC has tremendous barriers of entry. Even Intel cannot copy TSMC, even though they have access to the same equipment. The corporate culture becomes the unfair advantage. The talents build technical know-how that is not documented anywhere but the internal documents. Tyson Vacuum is a great household name. The barriers of entry is in the manufacturing system that guarantees tight tolerance. The equipment is available to anyone. The engineers is available, but the engineering know-how inside is a barrier. We know Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but lost the war of electricity. The light bulb is great, but the barrier of entry is too low. Just having a piece of patent paper is not enough to stop other entrepreneurs such as Westinghouse and Tesla. Amazon killed many brick-and-mortar business. The reason is because the barrier of entry to this business is low. They are capital intensive to own land and organize a supply chain, but anyone with money can do it. Why you should not start an easy business? Let's name a few examples. 1. An easier business have no barrier. If others did not set up the barrier, it may not be good business to start. 2. Just because you don't see the barrier does not mean there is no barrier. Some barriers are hidden. Your perceptions of easy entry will be met with surprise. Number 3, others in the future may take your business. After a while, the brand starts to catch on. People start to remember you. It becomes a barrier of entry for new entrants, such as Google, Tesla, Amazon. However, even those are not safe. It doesn't work forever. Any company that you see exist have an invisible wall. Ordinary people may not appreciate it, but people in the same industry know. Barriers take great business and engineering talents to erect. The barrier you conquer will later become your friend. The difficulty you mount are the future barriers that anyone chases you will have to cross. Remember this, a business is not just about tech. Barriers take great business and engineering talents to erect. Great talents takes good culture to keep and good profit to hire. Congratulations, you have made a company. Can it last? Can it grow? You have built the product, found the customers, got the investors, and built the sales network. At this point, the company is your money-making machine, and it is growing. Now you must install a long-lasting operating system so that you can take a break. When you take a break, you don't want the company to fall after you are taking the vacation. It is important to install professional CEOs, CTOs, and HR. You must have engineering managers and marketing people. How do you make sure the company will continue to run well and not run down by people who does not share your vision and passion? A company starts with the owner. Even if the owner does not work actively in the company anymore, their influence is still there. Most likely, the owner is a founder. The founders and owners hire the CEO. A company must seek professional managers and outsiders as it grows. The owners do not come to work every day. The CEO does. The CEO hires the rest, including president, chief operating officer, chief marketing officer, and HR director. Each business unit functions like a small company within a company. Each business unit may also have their own presidents, who hires the rest. In the functional unit of engineering, there are directors, managers, group leads, and the engineers. The structure ensures everyone has a path to promotion and career growth. You not only need to fill the organizational chart, but must ensure the company can self-correct problems and stay strong. Managers will leave, employees will leave, engineers will come and go, but you want the company to function without a hitch. This is not a unique problem you'll face. Your company must attract the right applicants and hire the right people. More importantly, you must make sure the company is well managed to retain those talents. A founder's job is critical to build the culture right from the beginning. Not convinced? Let me show you some Glassdoor reviews of a high-flying tech company. This one says, for example, deceitful, uncaring, and absolutely no respect for employees. Senior management is a joke. They massage the books. They're not willing to pay for anything and are abusive. Look at their turnovers. It's pathetic. And have you ever seen so many low ratings? HR has no clue what they're doing and belongs to serving burgers. Advice to management: quit and go back to school to learn good management techniques. See, if you let a bad manager in, then everything under him will be shaky. If so, your startup is going to start to go down the drain very soon. This company already will be terminated by the market after many years of failed running. It can never make profits, even though it makes revenue. Here are some bad scenarios of companies after the founding stage. 1. It becomes a toxic company where a micromanaging boss runs the show. He will drive the company to the ground. In such a company, bad managers hire bad CEOs, and bad CEOs hire bad directors, and so on. 2. It becomes a clueless company where a company does not recognize threats and problems. It cannot build products successfully It cannot compete against rivals and simply will lose. 3. It becomes an acquisition target, where it stops growing and becomes a target of merger. It disappears and becomes a division of a bigger company or a bigger rival. No matter how bad a company is, you only find it out after you join on board. A company has two critical elements. 1. A management system where good management hires good managers, and good people stay and grow. A good management system and documentation is part of the asset and invention of a company. A big part of the founder's legacy is to set up the management system. A wrong system is like a bad cancer. 2. A culture that rewards honesty, collaboration, and performance. A company is much more than meetings and projects. It is all easily said than done, of course. Bad companies die every day, but no one reports them. Companies with bad managers stops competing and eventually stops growing and die. Founders beware. Welcome to the Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, a complete course by Chang Liu, Part 4. In this part, we talk about power moves for generating great ideas. In Part 1, we debunked noises and fallacies. In Part 2, we talked about steps to success. In Part 3, we talked about the 7 heads of founders. In this part, we'll talk about how can you create big ideas. Big ideas are the ones that allows you to get investment. We'll first talk about why founders should use power ideas rather than your own idea. Then we discuss 6 power ideas or 6 power moves. The first one, use only big ideas. Second one, use only disruptive ideas. Power move 3, appeals to the vision. Power move 4, help business automate. Power move 5, spread inventions. Power move 6, don't go IPO. Forget about IPO. Just build and sell your business. Using this power move, you will be able to use your talent to the fullest. Let's go. To be an entrepreneur, use power concepts to make power ideas. Don't try cute but small ideas. To start up, use powerful ideas. Don't use your own idea. Many entrepreneurs want a one-of-a-kind, perfect, great idea. In fact, inventing a new idea is like inventing a new form of sport. You might just become people's laughingstock. Why better ideas is a trap? A few reasons. Number 1, better ideas won't necessarily win anything because there are hidden forces trying to defeat you. The force will be hidden until you start. 2, most people's good idea is based on guessing. No guess and chance taking will work in business. Ever try to buy a lottery ticket based on a smart combination of numbers? Number 3, a great but small idea will just develop into a small business that has no profit and staying power. It helps no one. Number 4, advanced products are fun, but they may just be a fringe. Before Tesla, electric cars were a fringe. Elon Musk made it sound like a good one. Number 5, every idea is already taken, especially advanced, fancy, and exciting new ideas. Don't spend time trying to beat the crowd. There are 3 reasons why people with good ideas may not win. Number 1, nothing you offer is needed. The world is saturated, at least in attentions. Number two, good ideas are hard ideas. You cannot look up right to an idea and then have people help you. Number three, good ideas, good things need timing to realize. Just teaching enough people someone is good will take time. For business, ideas are not even necessary. The big ones are very limited. Say electric power, train, air travel, insurance companies, popular restaurant chains. Need more? Business is just buying and selling. If you can make a thing you sell, great, but it's not necessary. Even making a market and making a funnel is still business. Business don't need ideas, it just need capital. We talk about 6 power concepts, but here are other ideas you may not cover. Number 1, make markets. Number 2, make funnel and help people marketing. Number 3, use terms. Number 4, sharpen your customer focus and serve sub-markets. Number 6, follow the buyer. They won't follow you. Give people safety. Facilitate relationships. Let me give you some examples. Make market. Amazon, Whole Foods, Wall Street are markets. Number 2, make funnel and help people marketing. Google is a funnel. It does nothing but attract people. Number 3, use term. ChatGPT caught a great term. Microsoft, Apple, and Intel all caught the microcomputers term. Number 4, sharpen your customer focus and serve sub-markets. Lululemon made women's clothing for yoga. There are plenty of sportswear market, plenty of women's clothing market, but no one focused on yoga clothing for women. 5, follow the buyer. They won't follow you. If you want people to pay you, make what they already buy. It's a lot easier than investing a new concept. Number 6, facilitate relationships. Starbucks does not sell coffee. It facilitates relationships. All TV stations facilitate relationships, and they get paid handsomely. Number 7, make people feel safe. Any kind of insurance company, banks, real estate, and investment makes people feel safe. People want to buy safety. What are some wrong ways for an engineer to make an idea? 1, a gadget-focused company, a one-trick pony. 2, a technically superior company with advanced, unproven technology. Research and development cost money. They don't make money. 3, make anything that you know nothing about the customer. Start your journey and you will eventually bump into a power idea. Don't try to waste all the time to come up with one. Good ideas tends to jump out to meet you. If you want to make a business, make a business. Don't spend time trying to make an idea. Here's the number 1 power move. Do only big things. To get a big idea, you need to start with a big concept. If you think from the fringe and niche, you may want to rethink the strategy. If you think about doing something you can alone, think again. If it is too easy, it is likely a trap. What does a big idea mean? Number 1, it is related to clothing, food, housing, and transportation. 2, it involves something latest about this and their supply chains. 3, it involves news and entertainment. 4, at the end of the journey, the business would be for everyone on earth. Let me give you some examples. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos started to build an online store. He started selling books online, and then he sells everything to everyone. Google wanted to remake a global search engine for all and the new Yellow Page business index. They started on tabletop computers. Then they become an advertising agent for all platforms. Elon Musk does not care that electric vehicles have failed before. He knows everyone needs vehicles. Everyone in the world wants a car or can use one. Microsoft founder Bill Gates imagined a computer on everyone's desktop. At the time, no one sees that. Everyone needs an email, a PowerPoint for making presentation, or to play solitaire. There are 4 signs you're thinking small. Number 1, your plan is to make a product or a gadget. Number 2, your plan is to see if you can get funding. You want to sell an idea and see if anyone likes it. It's based on taking a chance with a guess. Number 3, you are at the forefront of research and discovery. It would involve too much cost to mature. Number 4, you're thinking outside of an existing supply chain. You're trying to come up with an idea no one has tried. If your idea or pitch involves any one of these, you are guaranteed not to get warm receptions from investors or customers. They don't understand. A small idea is a gadget, a widget, or something outside of mainstream or supply chain. People with small ideas are often called idea men. They are not grounded. They do not focus. As entrepreneurs do only big things. Small things belong to companies that are already there. Why not do small things? Let me give you a few reasons. 1, small things still take big money. 2, small things won't get investment. 3, it's unlikely you thought of something no one else has thought of. A small idea is likely a discarded idea. 4, a small idea may take off quickly, but it will hit the ceiling or ground very quickly. Why it is actually not possible to make a business from a product. A single product is never a foundation of a business. A small idea may sound useful and good, but it is financially unattainable. It may sound to you that you only need small amount of money, but that's only because your understanding of the real world and the real cost is rather limited. As we discussed earlier before, some small improvement never works. It is not your business to make small improvement. Many people can offer improvement. However, the jobs of improvement belongs to the entrenched companies. They know the market, they have the connections. If they are not improving, it does not mean that anyone from outside can. What is a disruption? A disruption is a brand new path. It is called a game changer. The Chinese have a saying, pass at turns. The disruption is a turn. Disruption reveals the future briefly. It is a time to remake the old. Let's look at some examples. Example number 1, many people tried to invent the light bulb, but only Thomas Edison succeeded at making long life bulbs. His secret is a new vacuum pump technology that allowed high vacuum to be pulled. The invention of the mechanical pump has nothing to do with the electrical device, but it is a key. Elon Musk used the disruption of lithium batteries to make electric cars. Jeff Bezos used the internet to disrupt book selling and eventually online markets. The microcomputer and integrated circuits was a disruption that gave young founders of Microsoft and Apple their opportunities. They beat IBM and Xerox. Disruption may not be technology. It could be a new demand that was not there before. NVIDIA, for example, used the Moore's Law and the popularity of first-person shooting games to disrupt video processing chips. If it is not for the first-person shooting game, the video card market belongs to Intel. The disruption can come in 6 flavors: political change, economic change, societal change, technological change, change of law, and environmental change. Arianna Huffington used the new media format of blogging to launch a new daily news channel called Huffington Post. The blogging is a new societal habit. The video conference software Zoom enjoyed tremendous growth during the COVID lockdown period. The COVID gave the new environment. When Bill Gates started Microsoft, he knew that IBM was being threatened by antitrust authorities in the US. Therefore, IBM cannot just shut him down like usual. After COVID lockdown ended in the United States, Many landlords increase their rents by taking advantage of the inflation environment. Business success requires an engineer to have peripheral vision. The disruption and the intended use are from different fields. Startup takes disruption, not just hard work and continuous improvement. Why? 3 reasons. 1. The disruption is your timing, an unfair advantage. It is even your advantage against entrenched players. Number 2. Disruption offers brand new benefits or dramatic lowering of costs. Number 3. Disruption introduced fast-changing new demand. Disruption is not perfect, but is 10 times better in some areas. Jets, for example, disrupt railroad. It is not the best in every aspect, but it is 10 times faster. Railroads disrupted horse carriages. It allows 10 times faster distance travel. If business is a river, then the disruption is an earthquake. After the earthquake, the river might change its course. Without the quake, it might take tremendous amount of money to do the same thing. Entrepreneurs do not have to make change, but they must take advantage of change. Why do disruptions favor young people? There are 2 reasons. 1, the old players cannot change fast. Old entrenched players already have customers. They cannot make changes very slowly. They don't want their customers to leave them. Young players have no customers and therefore nothing to lose. 2, young people can simply meet more disruption events in life. Smart people do not make future. They see the future before others. Great entrepreneurs don't just think, they look. That is what you hear others say. Fortune favors the bold. The investors know this, and they don't want to hear small improvement. They only want big, bold ideas, even though it's risky and dangerous. But they have to be big, and it beats everything else. What products do end consumers care? Think about what their eyes care first. Your consumers all have basic sensory needs. The biggest sensory need is vision. Here is a list of things we get from vision. Survival. Confirmation. People believe in what they see. 3. Entertainment and information pathway. 4. Excitement and sense of beauty. There are many business opportunities reserved for vision. Movies and Hollywood. News, display, camera, surveillance, tourism, eye protection, you name it. Vision is powerful. Humans can get a lot of information from a single picture. Companies even spend lots of money on failed vision ventures. This includes Google Glasses and Qualcomm Mirrorless display. Any technology related to the sense of vision is big. Here are some examples. 1. The movie industry is big. It is enjoyable for the eye. 2. TV ad. Computer displays are big industry. 3. Display technology such as LED is big. Even the play on metaverse is big. Diagnosis and visual inspection is big. In terms of technology for vision, there are many examples. Steve Jobs is a genius computer maker. He makes eye candies. He makes windows so the eyes see beautiful fonts. Generations of new technology for camera, phone, display, television, gaming graphics have been developed to satisfy the eyes. In terms of artificial intelligence or AI, the computer vision attracts much more attention than voice. Of course, this does not mean other senses are not important at all, but they clearly take a back seat to the vision. Technology for touch and smell never really caught up, even if a lot of people, great talent, have done a lot of work. Ceranos, for example, was a smell sensor technology company. It never caught up. There was never any demand. The sense of touch plays a very small role, for example, in robotic surgery, but it remains a science fiction, not real markets. If you run out of ideas as a technologist, turn your attention to vision. If what you know can relate to vision, think about its potential at automation or disruption, it may yield surprisingly good ideas. Many technologies find relevance to vision. If your technology can relate to vision, focus on vision. It is the easiest to have a success as an entrepreneur or as a business because the market is the biggest. To make a business, you don't have to guess what people want. You can sell to business. Often business does not sell to consumers directly, but sell to business units in the supply chain. Your buyer is the other business. There are 3 scripts for selling to business. 1. Automate their business process. 2. Offer quality control. 3. Outsource part of their business. The best way for other business to purchase your service is to automate part of their process. Business will always invest in automation technology to make it unnecessary to use human labor. This is a long-term trend that has been going on for a long time. The technology power for automation has been immense. Let's take a look at some examples. Computers automate office tasks. Robots automate factory manufacturing. Internet automate communication and making it simple. Voice recognition automate call centers and customer service. Artificial intelligence will automate decision making. Many big companies will buy automation technology. When you think about an idea, think about this line. It may offer tremendous clarity. Business owners want automation. It is not because they like technology, but because they like cost control. They also want to provide quality control and scaling up to 24/7 operations. The benefit of automation for a business include the following. Reduce direct labor. Offer consistent quality of operations. Stay ahead of competition by capital expenditure, scaling of the business. Why automation business is the best business proposition, or at least for building an acquisition target? 1. Reducing cost is dubious. You are also reducing the quality sometimes. 2. Improving quality is costly. 3. Charging price is not your decision. Never walk to a CEO and tell him that you will reduce his expenditure. It is not his primary concern to save money. His primary concern is to get more profit. He wants to cut cost. More importantly, he wants to control cost. Cost control is bloodline of business. Many smart engineers think of 3 steps: inventing something, solve someone's problem, and results. That's only one way to get to business. There are 2 surprising approaches. 1. Help spread someone else's inventions. 2. Reinvent things, including things that did not succeed. For example, electricity was invented in the 1850s, but the spreading of electrification is still ongoing today. For example, electric cars was invented by Edison, but Tesla is still working on it. For example, NASA has space agency technology, but SpaceX is inventing new rockets for civilian use. For example, do you know almost every country has its own Google? You really don't need to invent Google to get rich. If you have enough capital, you can reinvent anything and penetrate new untouched crowd. Many successful startups did not invent something, but they popularized it. Examples include the following. Henry Ford lowered the price of car using an old concept called assembly line and increased the population reach of automotives. Zoom, the video conferencing software, did what WebEx and Microsoft Teams have done, but it popularized the video conference concept. Of course, the breakout of COVID helped it tremendously. The internet browser called Netscape made internet usable by large number of people. People who invented the browser did not invent the internet, but increase access. SpaceX is a rocket and space agency company. NASA and many government space agencies can already do it, but Elon Musk tried to popularize space travel by reducing the cost. You see, you don't have to be the original inventor or the first-time inventor. You can simply be the reinventor or the next inventor. Lowering the price of something may sound common, but that takes capital and business acumen. It takes way more money than doing research. Here are several ways that you can use this power idea. 1. Focus on new upscale crowd of existing products. Spread to upscale. 2. Scale to lower scale people. 3. Start with high-end products such as military tech and develop new market penetration and accessing new buyers. 4. Lower the price of something drastically, sustainably. 5. Bring popular concept into another market. For example, McDonald's restaurants spread fast food to unprecedented heights. Starbucks made a popular European concept called cafe new in America again. 6. Play the card we discussed before. For example, automation. See, automating vacuum cleaner was a great idea. This even saved the company called iRobot. Don't spend all the time inventing new things. Sometimes some things are not meant to happen today. Focus on what works, focus on what the demand is, and focus on reinventing things. Don't try to change history. History and future just may need you to turn the page. They will change itself. Most people are familiar with the initial public offering, IPO, as a destiny to make money. However, there's an easier way. One way for engineers to make move is actually conduct a project that makes you become a merger or acquisition target of a big company. Try to attack a big company and eventually it may buy you. This requires that you already know the insider information. Otherwise, there won't be a good match. Many companies, they were created because a founder is very familiar with the industry and market. Here are some examples. Ex-Oracle veteran Mark Benioff formed Salesforce, which is a project within an original company. Ex-Cisco employee Eric Yuan formed Zoom. Ex-Intuit executive formed TextBit, a tax reporting software for Bitcoin industry. The exit plan is to have Intuit later acquire the company. What would big companies buy small companies for? 1. Big companies have internal politics and organizational struggle. They may want to do internal startup, but it may be a losing cause. They would rather buy fearless new startup companies. 2. Big companies cannot take too much risk. They would rather pay to buy smaller companies after it has proven the success. 3. For big companies to do what the startup do might actually cost more money. Buying is a lot cheaper. You don't have to make a company that go IPO. Going public is just to find a buyer for the company. You can sell your company to another company and then you will be an employee again, but with a much better title. You left the company to start one and eventually return to the corporate world gloriously after fighting in the wilderness. Don't be afraid, but do prepare, including financially. Hi, welcome to Foundations of Entrepreneurship for Engineers, a complete course by Chang Liu, Part 5. In this part, we'll talk about relations. The secret of getting rich is to have strong relations. Money is all made up. It flows in relations. As long as you have mutually beneficial relation, you will be rich. If you have talents but no money, what should you do? You should do 3 things. Number 1, make a product so you have a voice. Number 2, learn to sell so you can speak. Number 3, cultivate beneficial relations. Have a relation. In this part, we're going to talk about the relation building. Business is professional relationship building. Business is also competitive relationship building. It's not normal relations. Lastly, business is both collaborative and yet competitive giving of benefits in relations that you have built. We'll cover 7 relations. Relations with early stage investor, relation with later stage investor, relation with customers and consumers in the market, relation with the supply chain and ecosystem, relation with your co-founder, relation with competitors and imitators, and relationship with yourself. Caution, entrepreneurship and business may make you rich or at least change you forever. Welcome, let's get started. This is part 5. In part 1, we debunked noises and fallacies. In part 2, we discussed steps to success. In part 3, we talked about 7 hats that a founder has to wear. In part 4, we talked about power moves to generate great ideas. This is part 5. Welcome. Business is just a relation. Beneficial relations can grow out of nothing. This is why there could be unlimited business opportunities, but each one needs to be built. Money was originally invented to facilitate trade and relation. If you're rich, it only means that you have strong relations or can offer strong benefits. As business builder, you're going to be professional in relation building. Let's first talk about relations with investors. You need money to make money, and you need to jumpstart with capital. Some families are rich themselves because their parents or grandparents were entrepreneurs. They want their money to remain valuable against inflation. They must invest and make their money to work for them. Hence, there's a lot of investment money out there. Early stage investors are one of the 3. 1, you. 2, your parents. 3, your neighbors and friends. These are the people who are willing to give you a small amount of money without proof of product or sales. No one else could, not the so-called angels or the rich venture capitalists, VCs. These are also the only folks who will give you a small amount of money, for example, a couple of $1,000. The early investors' money is not enough to build a product or sales network. They can only be used to build proof of concepts. It is important to emphasize that you are the number 1 investor. In fact, the shares you get from your company is directly proportional to your cash contribution. You cannot be rewarded with having an idea. If you do not invest, such as giving up your job or steady salary, your parents or neighbors won't invest. They don't want returns, but they just want you to be happy and safe. Many successful entrepreneurs get seed money from their parents. For example, Amazon founder gets $240,000 from parents. Gates. The parents of Bill Gates are rich themselves, so they could have funded earlier ventures. Sometimes you have an angel investor who is not a family member. Why would a person invest in you? They are not here to loan you money or act as your bank account. What does the investor want? The investor wants to sell you. The investor wants to sell his share in your company to another investor. He is not interested in the following. Number 1, he's not trying to get paid from your revenue or income. This is because of 2 reasons. 1, your income will at best make him come out even. That's not enough. Secondly, the investment is not enough to get to the revenue. 2, He is not interested in being paid back. He wants his money to grow, and he wants to be paid back now. 3. He is also not interested in donating a small amount of money to you, even if he's rich and comfortable in life. Founders sell products. Investors sell the company. Only a rapidly growing company is worth investment. And never ask a late-stage investor to invest a small amount of money, and never ask an early-stage investor to invest large amount of money. Entrepreneurs must beg for money, both before and after you make money. The more successful you are, the more money you need to borrow. Investors only invest when they see the chain of investors after them. They don't take their stupid risks and don't put themselves in danger. They want the safety in numbers. The chain of investors and their typical investment size is below. Research foundation, $200,000 a year. Families and friends round, $500,000. Seed round, $1 million. VC and later rounds, $5 to $20 million. Bank loans, $100 million a year. Investors work in stages, much like coaches work in stages. There are mom and pop coaching little leagues. Then there are park district coaches. Then there are high school coaches. And then there are professional coaches. Remember, investors do not coach you. They expect you to coach yourself through experience. Few investors are perfect. Many investors have worked in companies, but very few know how to build a business and company from ground up. Even the rich people do not know how to invest. That's why they hire the VCs. Investors do not invest in smart people. They have seen 10 smart people yesterday alone. If you are good, you want others, third parties, to say that you are good. For entrepreneurship, you fail because it's real competition, not because you're not good. Investors want to invest who have trusted failures. They only want people who have scars. Business building is a game of war. It is a war. It needs supplies. It's a game. It needs learning, talent, hustle. Being smart and imaginative does not provide much help. Late-stage investors are banks and other professional financial institutions. They have a lot of money waiting to invest, and they take on less risks simply because they are putting down tens and hundreds of millions. They may not care so much about shares in your company or your IPO, but they just want their funds to be parked somewhere that generate more money. Investors are not generous comrades. One way they increase safety is to ask for your collateral. If you ask for $500,000 and your house is worth $500,000, then you can offer your house as collateral. The VCs call this hedge. When dealing with VC, it is important to know 3 things. Number 1, VCs are not entrepreneurs. They are employees or financial management companies. Number 2, VCs want to be paid in large multiples quickly. They typically do not wait for your profit or IPO to cash out. They want other VCs to pay them in the next stage. The money they manage have term limits as well. It is not their money. 3, VCs is a community. Once you get funding from one VC, your fate is locked and you continue to work for one VC from another. Venture capitalists are not nice friends to have. They are business vouchers for naive players. Here are a few reasons. 1, you must pay the VCs according to terms. For that, you cannot use your cash reserve or revenue. It is not enough. The VCs does not need you to pay back, but they do care. 2, the VCs give you just enough for each period and use your performance to decide if they give you more. If they don't, their operations will run out of cash instantly. If they do, then the next round of valuation on tight leash continues until the next round. After the VCs get their money, after your company's IPO on the stock market, the real big investors start to come in. They are the banks. They can provide you loans in return for interest. But even public companies cannot escape the banks. Even big companies can close when running out of cash. This article says it all. Borders collapse is both expected and disconcerting. The company filed for bankruptcy protection late February and has struggled ever since. After closing a first wave of retail stores, the bookstore chain has increasing trouble, even stocking its shelves, as publishers after publishers refuse to send inventory to Borders. This was because Borders delay payments to publishers on books if they are not sold, and the companies wanted to establish delay payment plans for its future sales. The banks need collateral. The Borders do not have that. If you do not pay them back in time, they will confiscate things in return. Why big companies still borrow from banks? Because everybody else does. If you do not borrow, then your competition will, and you will be crushed. This is a cruelty of the financial world. All business run on the lifeblood of cash. The cash of all business comes from customers, directly or indirectly. Money does not grow on trees. They are nothing, but they come from the pocket of consumers. Consumers are called the kings. They are the most important for three reasons. Number one, consumers or customers is the lifeblood of a company. Long after the investors have moved out, without the customers continuously providing cash to a company, no company can sustain by itself. 2. Customers may be ultra demanding, but ultimately they pay cash only if they see value. 3. Customers and consumers are vastly powerful. Even if one American citizen pays you $1, you would have gotten $300 million. The power of consumers comes from its numbers. No matter how large a company is, they must draw cash from customers. Coca-Cola makes money one can of soda at a time. McDonald's still sell one hamburger at a time. Google begs you to store files on their cloud services for very small fees per month. This is a reason. We see people buy things all the time, but selling anything new is hard. It takes a long time to build the demand habit and to build the trust. Customers are hard to win and harder to keep. They may appear to be faceless, but each have their own demand. They want to spend money, trust me, but you have to get them. You may not like them, but they are the only source of cash. Customers want bargains, safety, ease of mind, and ease of return. Customers may complain about you only when they care about what you offer. Customers only pay you the price after carefully deliberating on three factors: utility, benefits, and bargain. This is even true if someone appears to make a purchase decision on a whim. They just make the decision quick. A business must constantly fight to win customers' favors. They must win new customers every day, or other companies will win them over. The purchasing power of customers form a demand chain. There must be many possible ideas for business, but there are very few hard demand. Educating customers and consumers is crucial and very expensive. It is otherwise useless to guess new things they might buy. You must educate them to buy. This is costly. Customer education is very expensive. After the demand chain forms, many businesses then form the supply chain to supply the demand. No one makes money alone. If you make it alone, you don't make money. In this episode, we talk about three things. One, you must penetrate a market and set up shop. Two, you must attract market goers to your shop's front door. This is called traffic. Three, you must sell products inside your store. Money is made in a market where competition exists and where customers open up their purse. Most engineers who wish to become entrepreneurs have never even set up a lemonade stand in the neighborhood. They got it all wrong. What is the wrong process here? One, I will make a prototype, crude but functional. Two, I will approach people and impress them. Three, I'll set up a price, arbitrarily low, entice people to open up their wallet. I would also add on some profit for myself. This is wrong. This is a wrong process to sell. The right way to sell is like this. One, set up a store in the market next to your competitions. Two, wait for customers to come to the market, approach you, browse, pick up, and examine, and consider your price. See, people want to shop. They don't want to buy. People want to spend. They also don't have to buy anything. Three, a certain percentage may come back and buy. For example, Amazon is a market. There are many stores, and visitors to Amazon browse, think, and log out. Why don't people use the first method? Because this is the lowest cost. The customer acquisition cost is low this way. Don't call Amazon a store. It's a market of hundreds and thousands of stores. Many so-called businesses are actually markets. The Wall Street is simply a market. MBA is a market where talents show off their skills. The downtown area in each city is a market. In many places, the busy street becomes a market. The terminal area inside the airport becomes a market. Different people get attracted to different markets. Markets attract people to go. Google set up a market for advertisers. Hollywood is a market where people go to look for new movies. Market makers have strong positions. Whole Foods is a market. Amazon is a market. The infamous founder of FTX Bitcoin market may be shady, but he got the right idea. Build a market. The difference of market and store: a market is made of stores. A store sells products from one company. The market sells products from many companies. People visit a market. They don't visit a standalone store. If you want to make money, you must compete. There are even world competitions for bicycle riding and darts throwing. Same for business. No competition, no money. People only buy from you after you have checked out your competition. People only buy when they know there are no better deals. In startup, you win or lose as a team. The cliche is this: if you want to go far, find a partner. If you want to go fast, go alone. The cliche is true. In startup, you want it to go far. There are many reasons not to have a co-founder. It's all reasons of convenience. Number one, I can't find one. It's inconvenient. Two, maybe it's okay just by myself. Three, I don't want to tell anyone my idea. Four, maybe one will come join later. Six, I'll hire a co-founder when I get things going. These are all wrong. The co-founder is a critical element. Here is a crucial benefit of having a co-founder. If an investor sees that you are a solo entrepreneur, he will not fund you. If Michael Jordan goes to NBA game with no teammates, would people still show up to buy tickets? I think you know the answer. What makes a co-founder different from a contractor, a helper, or a tech assistant? Here are two important elements. One, a co-founder has quit his regular job. Two, a co-founder has put cash investment into the company coffer, not just sweat and work. In some countries, the shares percentage is only related to how much cash each co-founder brings to the table, irrespective of their talent. In other words, everything is converted to cash terms. On the other hand, an hourly, a volunteer, a contractor, or advisor never gives up their job and steady income. To some extent, they should never be given shares. They are not co-founders. Don't give valuable shares to people who did not give you cash. If you need help, pay someone. You have only 100% points of shares. You cannot throw them around as a token of appreciation. A co-founder is like a spouse. He or she must have some qualifications. 1. A mutual understanding ability to work, elevating each other to higher levels. In other words, similar value and IQ levels. If a co-founder is smarter than you, it's even better. 2. A co-founder should have non-overlapping roles with you. Together, a founding team must have technical and marketing skills. 3. A co-founder should be a who's who, not a novice. The co-founder's clout should become the company's unfair advantage. Any investor would demand that. Without a co-founder, the startup is doomed from the get-go, even though it will only be evident for you after 2 years. Here are 2 reasons for that. 1. If you cannot find or recruit such a person, take it as a sign that the idea is not good. Never fall in love with your own ideas. 2. You're going into a battle without knowing where the enemies are ambushing you. Technical staff is common. The knowledge you cherish is common. The ability to make powerful disruptive tech products and selling them in market is a challenge above finding technical talents. Remember, business is an arena rigged by B students, so that A students with no experience cannot win. If you don't have a co-founder, your idea is not good enough. It's too small. Small ideas don't win. Small ideas just becomes a hobby or becomes a memory. In business, there's no point trying to make a small thing. It won't work. It's not worth the effort. It is very important to have a co-founder. This is your employee number 1. This is a validation that your idea is not a fantasy. No one can make money alone. No one needs anything. No relations, no money. Money is simply a measure of how connected you are. Business is largely buying and selling. What you buy is what other people sell. What you sell is what other people buy. It comes in circles. Some people do original product making or parts assembly, but they are the minority. Most business is just providing services to move products others made. Market makers and funnel makers are also business. In business, selling something takes more money than making them. Business doesn't care what product they sell. It only cares to buy and sell. It cares about moving them through the supply chain and earning commissions. They get a cut of the total money that the customers paid to the retailers. If no one are incentivized to sell your product, then your product won't sell. They will just sell someone else's product. If you make products, then the things that sell like hotcakes are the things that people will help you sell, like hotcakes. If you decide to make money on your own, by your own, and for your own, you sell nothing. If you have a product, you must recruit powerful parts suppliers to you and powerful distributors. If no one distributes, you won't sell. If the best suppliers don't work for you, they will work for someone else. At the end of the supply chain is billions of consumers. Consumers demand to spend money, and everyone wants to figure out what the consumers want to pay for today. All members of that supply chain get rich. Apple products are sold in mobile network providers such as AT&T and even Costco. Apple also has made Foxconn a vital partner of manufacturing instead of making things themselves. Apple helps Foxconn get rich, helps app stores, game makers get rich, helps AT&T get rich. Think of it, Foxconn also helps other mobile phone makers make mobile phones. This is how you behave as a big guy. The red arrow indicates directions of service. The yellow arrow indicates the direction of money. Money travels in the opposite direction of the service. Everyone looks up to you. It's never just about a good product. Apple is just one good example of building an ecosystem. Everyone in the ecosystem get rich. If you remove any one element, then others will stop making money and the consumers will simply reduce spending. There are stories to make you believe. For example, all Hollywood movies have distributors. All sports stars have agents. All book writers have agents. If you don't have a promoter, nothing really moves. After you have a product, you cannot afford to be alone in the supply chain. You are responsible for helping your sales channel make money, or it won't help you, or nothing would sell. You cannot move the product on your own. It's too expensive. If your product does not help your upstream or downstream, then no one will care. This is assuming you have a good product. For example, if your product is a commodity and thin margin, then there isn't much money to be made. Then the selling would become very meager. That's why everyone sells highly expensive items. No one is strong enough to succeed without help. Your helpers make you, or your product becomes very inferior. If you know how to sell, then you can even sell bad stuff. So don't look at others and say, hey, so-and-so can sell bad stuff, but you can't. Ever wonder why Silicon Valley companies are located at one expensive place? The cost is extremely high there. Ever wonder why restaurants always get to be at the restaurant row in a city? Why many startups begin on the same idea and have head-to-head battle? The reason is because business don't avoid competition. Beginners typically have some wrong ideas about competition. Those wrong ideas are, they think that one can shut competitors off with patents. They hate any competition and they think they are bad and non-ethical. They want to pick an idea where there is no competition. Those are all wrong. People all know Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. However, many don't know that he was sued over 500 times in a year for patent infringement. If he is sued this many times, can you imagine how many times he has to sue others? Don't hate your competitors and imitators. They are unavoidable. Your competition and copycat is your friend to some extent. There are several reasons. One, with no competitors, your organization will soon lose the edge to innovate. Two, without the competitor, the stock market has no reference to price your stock. Three, if you are a supplier of some industry, all big downstream companies will always keep two suppliers for insurance. Keep your competitors as a backup tire. Four, if you dominate the entire game, you will soon get a visitor from the monopoly enforcer. In the lucky case that you don't, if you're the only game in town, you will jack up the price and get comfortable. Competitors will inevitably come in, buy your invitation. Your employees will become arrogant and your customers will soon become unhappy. This is why Apple and Microsoft coexist, why Intel allows AMD to survive, and why Amazon does not kill all its competitors just by buying them off. Never pick something where there's no competition. Likely it is a bad choice because 1. If there's truly no competition, you will not have business. 2. If you think there's no competition, it is most likely means you know nothing about the market. 3. If something is easy, it will be easy for your future competitors if you succeed. 4. If you happen to have a business, many big companies with more money will try to pivot and get into your area anyways. Your job is not to stop your competitor. Your job is to be number one. Your job is to build the barriers of entry and slow the competitions down. Without number two, you can never be number one. Competition is a fact of life. Get used to it, especially if you're in business. Entrepreneurship is to enter business building. You live three lives in one instead of one life in one. The three lives are: one, the regular life of everyone else; two, a business building life; three, a business managing life. Entrepreneurship is a life transforming decision. It changes one's life. A normal engineer begins as engineer and ends as a middle class engineer. He's never the CEO of a company. With entrepreneurship, you'll be the CEO. A regular CEO does not know how to build business. They only know how to manage one. However, an entrepreneur knows how to build a business out of nothing. Not all engineers need to be entrepreneurs. Not all will succeed. Why most engineers remain engineers? Why some becomes Elon Musk? Most think about good ideas to change the world. They think, but never start. They're procrastinating the start. They don't start out of fear. They want perfect ideas to show they are smart. No matter how many companies you work for, they have no idea how business is actually conducted or made. Most never ever become managers. One day they are bored and start a business. That's when they realize that they have no capital, no business sense, no product making skills, and no human skills to manage employees. Some start, but then they fail and become a casualty of statistics. Elon Musk started business education young, and then he started school. He was a businessman before he was a student. He's a fully grown business-minded person. A person who has worn the hat of startup founders will lead a very different life, for good or for worse. There are three main characters for a founder's life. Number one, business is professional life. Engineers' interest and passion are now raised to the highest level. You compete rather than doing your best. You push yourself to survive the competition assault and to win the crown. Forget the original goal of doing good, getting rich, or becoming free. Entrepreneurship will change your attitude. You will be humbled, but you also will learn how to market your product and yourself. You will not only just be smart, you will be wiser. You actively change your life. To an extent you never know, life could be changed. If you start early in your life, you have a chance to get rich. If you start late, you may not have time to recover from mistakes. Your income may forever be lower than what you can make out of a job. We'll continue to talk about the pros and cons of employees versus founders. Many engineers are not supposed to be successful in entrepreneurship. In fact, they should not even start. If you don't agree with this, then I hope you agree with the following. Don't try to make money, make relationship. Business is many conflicting things to engineers. Your engineering and book smarts are not enough anymore. You are playing a game in order to realize your dream. Your odds of success is just as big or as small as everyone else. Whether you have an Ivy League degree or you're in high school, you are now on even grounds. The elements that would increase your odds are the following. One, you need to find the demand first. By all means, demand cannot be guessed. What you guess will ultimately be wrong. You need to gain the business sense by some means. Most employees, even CEOs, don't have business building sense. Three, you need to be an insider first. By all means, the insiders are waiting to ambush. Four, you must become interrelated with the customers. the supply chain, and even competitions in the same market. 5. Alternative of 3 and 4 is to have good connections. If you are lucky enough to start right, then you need to be extra lucky on several fronts. You need to borrow money and grow a business to be a clear number one. Your company can survive a couple of rounds of competition and challenges, and you need several tries until you become good. Going to schools and reading books do not help. Most engineers trying their hands don't get lucky. There are several scripts of rather few successful stories. 1. Many started to build and sell on their own in college. They built computers or software. Some even quit college. Examples include Microsoft's Gates, Facebook's founders, etc. 2. Some established technical people develop products and start to sell. Mostly it is software products because the cost is low and valuation is high. Mostly they have to quit their job. They typically sell their company. 3. Some bootstrapped a company on their own and support themselves with government contracts. They remain on very slim profit margin for many years, but keeps on surviving until their time of luck arrives. 4 advice for all engineers from all schools. Number 1, start early or don't start at all. 2, start building and start selling. Do anything you can today. Don't try to improve your ideas. Don't procrastinate. 3, drill deep. You can get lucky every day, but you need to realize that. 4, do one thing, never two. Never be greedy. Be real. Finish one thing at a time. If you're an engineer, getting good grades at school is easiest you have ever done. Most ended up making less than their salary, potential, or suffered life-changing events such as divorce or bankruptcy. Be very careful.